Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a really fascinating, super concise text originating from Cambodia. We're going to unpack the wisdom found in this original Khmer text because it absolutely hits the nail on the head regarding what actually stops us from reaching our full potential. It zeroes in on 5 very specific psychological barriers. You know, it's a short text, but man, the wisdom packed in here is just profound. We're going to break the whole shebang down so we can understand exactly how these barriers are sneaking into our everyday lives. But hey, before we get to the list, I want you to take a second. Really think about this. Why is it so hard to grow in life? Seriously, think about it. We all have these big goals, right? We've got ambitions. And yet, so often, we find ourselves stuck in the exact same spot year after year. Is it just bad luck, external circumstances, or are we kinda unconsciously sabotaging our own success? This text argues that the real resistance, it comes from within. It's these specific internal habits that are literally destroying our momentum. So, let's look at why life fails to grow by examining these 5 core barriers. Okay, let's dive into this. Here is the full list: laziness, anger, fear, arrogance, and impatience. In the original Khmer language, these concepts carry this incredible cultural and psychological weight. The absolute genius of this source material is that it doesn't just say, hey, these are bad habits. No, it frames them as literal, immediate transactions. They're active trades you're making every single day that steal something vital from your future. So let's see exactly what it is you're trading away. Starting off with points 1 and 2, laziness and anger. First up on the chopping block is laziness. Now, we're not talking about just, kicking back on the couch on a Sunday afternoon to recharge. This text actually warns that laziness is an active state that directly causes the loss of your willpower. When you engage in this habit, you're paying a heavy, immediate price. It's not just you being passive. It is an active, literal drain on your internal drive. And this beautifully illustrates that direct transaction. Every time you hit that snooze button, every time you put off that really important task, you aren't just delaying the work. You are actively eroding your inner strength. Psychologically, it's like you're training the neural pathways in your brain to just give up. And that makes it exponentially harder to summon the willpower you need the next time around. Then we have anger, a much more explosive emotion, right? When rage takes over, the immediate casualty, the direct loss, is your intelligence and your wisdom. You're basically losing your most valuable asset in real time. You aren't just having a momentary freakout. You are literally blinding your own intellect. In the heat of anger, your critical thinking, it just shuts down completely. I mean, have you ever said something in a fit of rage that you instantly regretted? Right? We all have, for sure. Speaking from a psychology standpoint, this is an amygdala hijack. The anger just completely overrides the intelligent, rational part of your brain. It is literally impossible to be fiercely angry and highly intelligent at the exact same time. Let's move on and see how this builds with points 3 and 4, fear and arrogance. Next up is fear, and this one's heavy. It's a feeling that directly causes the loss of your dreams. I really want to pause here and ask you, is fear currently paralyzing your ambitions? Think about it. Are there things you know you should be doing right now? Like maybe starting a business, going back to school, having that really difficult conversation you've been avoiding. But the fear of failure is literally killing those dreams before they can even take a breath. It's a tragedy. It really is. Because our dreams, they usually don't die because the world is too harsh or because we aren't smart enough. They die because we become too afraid to even try. Just let the true weight of that sink in for a second. You are sacrificing your future potential solely to avoid a little bit of temporary discomfort. Realizing that is the very first step to finally pushing past it. But okay, what happens when you actually do start making a little progress? Well, that's exactly where arrogance creeps in. And this is a trait that directly causes the loss of progress and, crucially, the respect from those around you. Having way too much pride, acting like you know everything, or just completely refusing to listen to feedback, it doesn't make you look strong. Actually, scratch that. It makes you look incredibly weak, and it pushes away the exact people who actually value you. Now, what's really interesting here is that arrogance carries this massive double penalty. When you operate with a totally closed mind, you stop your own personal growth dead in its tracks because you refuse to learn anything new. And worse, you burn bridges with your community. No one, and I mean no one, achieves true lasting growth entirely on their own. We need mentors, we need peers, we need collaborators. Arrogance destroys that vital network in an instant. Which brings us to our final point, point 5, lack of patience. Finally, we have to tackle execution, and the biggest barrier here is impatience. Having no patience causes the absolute loss of benefits and the inability to accomplish your tasks. Everything worthwhile in life takes time, right? Building a solid career, getting healthy, mastering a new skill. When you lack the endurance to just survive the boring or difficult phases, you forfeit all the rewards of your hard work. It's the stark reality that impatience practically guarantees your goals are going to remain incomplete. Jumping from one shiny new idea to the next without waiting for actual results, it just leaves you with a massive graveyard of unfinished tasks. You put in all that initial heavy lifting, but because you kind of lack the patience to endure the messy niddle of the process, you never actually stick around long enough to reap the benefits.
So let's move to some reflection. What to do next?
I want to leave you with this final, slightly provocative thought. Which of these 5 points is currently holding you back the most right now? Really? Is it laziness straining your willpower? Maybe anger clouding your judgment? Is it fear killing your dreams? Arrogance costing you respect? Or is it impatience leaving your goals totally unfinished? You got to be honest with yourself here. Identify your biggest barrier today, confront it head on, and take back control of your growth. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and I challenge you to start overcoming that barrier right now.